Hello everybody, welcome back to today's video. Today I want to talk about SaucerSwap. I haven't done one in over 2 months, so this video has been 2 months in the making, and from when I last spoke about this cryptocurrency, I was potentially saying to people that this bear flag could break down, and me personally, I wanted it to break down because I was telling you guys how if it went down to that level, it would be around $3 to $4 million in market cap, and you know, it's more likely for it to do 100x, right, hit $300 to $400 million in market cap, than let's say if you bought in at 10 million and, you know, it needs to go to $1 billion, right, for 100x. So, as you would know, I've, you know, spoken about the last bear flag in my very first video, and I was, you know, calling 1.3 cents. We hit that 1.3 cent level. It even went lower, as you guys could see. Down here, there was a Discord hack, so I'll just quickly talk about this. The South Korean mod, one of the mods in the Discord, somehow got hacked, and they were, you know, pushing some type of, you know, scam link. I'm hoping many people didn't click on that because, you know, when I seen it, it was like an Ethereum airdrop or whatever. So, you know, totally not related to Hedera hash graph in any way. If anyone fell for that, you know, it was, you know, pretty obvious that it was obviously a scam. You know, there's been no free airdrop on Source. The only official thing is you've got the faucet, right? So you can plug your Hedera hash graph address, and then you get 0.1 Source every 6 to 8 hours, I believe. So, you know, I claim it around 3 times a day. You know, it's free. You may as well, guys, you know, go do it. It's in the Discord. I might leave a link to the Discord below for the SaucerSwap Discord, so all you guys can check it out. It's got about over 6,000 members. So anyway, sorry about the long spiel. I want to just jump straight into the charts. So yeah, when I was talking about this, you know, this bear flag, it did break to the upside, right? So it was invalidated. Now, I remember in that video I was warning people. I was saying if it gets above that resistance level at around 1.8 cents, I was saying it's going to break higher. As a bull, that is the best case. That's what you know you wanted to see. You wanted to see it invalidate the bear flag, break to the upside, and that is exactly what it done. Now I want to talk about 2 things. Why did it stall out at that 3 cent level? Right, perfectly 3 cents, you know, to the cent. So the very first thing I want to talk about, candlesticks. So the candlestick that formed when we hit that 3 cent level, as you guys can see on the 15th of August, we made that high at 3 cents. So I remember there was a lot of people talking about this run up. And I also spoke to someone in the Discord. I can't remember who it was, but I'll have to scroll back and have a look. And I was telling everybody in the Discord, I was saying, so around this time, this was when HBAR decreased the staking rewards from around 6%, 6.5% down to 2%, 2.5%, somewhere in that range. And I was telling people there is going to be a whole lot of money that's going to come into SaucerSwap, right, the actual DEX, and people buy the Source token so they can receive the staking rewards. As you guys would know, if you know, are buying Source, you would know that you can stake it on the single-sided staking rewards, right? So at the time, I seen it fluctuate between 12% up to 20%, you know, depends when you looked at it. And now it is down a lot. You know, last I checked, it was at like 5% or so. So that rewards, you know, the staking rewards on the single-sided staking has come down quite a lot. Now, we also are hearing stuff about the version 2. So I read an article, 𝗬𝗪, it's going to be SaucerSwap version 2. I believe this will be coming out, you know, pretty soon. So, you know, it didn't come out over the last 2 months from this last video, but I do plan on making a video about the SaucerSwap version 2 tokenomics. You know, I think a lot of people are going to be, you know, quite interested in that. You know, just leave a comment below, smash that like button, you know, if you guys want me to make a, you know, essentially a part 1, part 2 to the tokenomics, you know, about the version 2 coming up. As I do think, you know, not many people are making videos about SaucerSwap. Me personally, I do believe that this coin is going to outperform, you know, even HBAR. If HBAR goes up, this coin is going to do very well. So that's me getting sidetracked. I want to jump straight back in. So when we were talking about the 15th of August, that candlestick there, that was a topping tail, right? So that was your first warning signal that it was very overextended. Now you guys can also see on the RSI, it was also up there in that overbought territory. Now down here, as you guys can see, this is when you want to be buying, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, most of you would know, if you're looking at the RSI, anything above 70 is overbought and anything below 30 is oversold. So, you know, whoever made the indicator, that's how it works. It is pretty straightforward. You know, we can scroll back here, have a look then. When every time it got up above this 70 range, that was a really good time to sell, right? So it's pretty obvious, you know, how you trade this. And when we come into the bottom of this bear flag before we were ranging sideways, you know, slightly up, you guys can see it was down below that 30 range. And then before finally, you know, going way down here, down to around 18, 19 on the RSI. As you guys can see, that was really oversold. As I mentioned before, that was when we had that Discord hack. And, you know, it only fell down there for 3 days, quickly popped right back up in there. And then, you know, it was forming that bear flag. But in a month, I mentioned this in the previous video as well, we had this miniature bull flag, which then broke out to the upside. So, you know, you've also got, you know, patterns within patterns. Now, another thing I want to mention, why did it top out at that 3 cent level? If we just scroll back the VPVR, let's just plop it here, for example. So as you guys can see, have a look at where the supply demand zone was. As you guys can see, it was around 2.5 cents. And if we go across to the right, look where it topped out. So what I want to talk about this area here. So all the people that were buying in amongst, see how it was just, you know, essentially like waves, right? People were buying and selling. As you guys can see, the average price was around 2.5 cents before finally it was acting as a lot of pressure. So everyone under here, when it formed this bear flag, everyone was underwater. So on average, I would say probably 80, 90% of people that brought source, right? If you bought anywhere here, you were down, right? That's just what, you know, essentially the charts were showing. And when it collapsed down here, yeah, literally everyone was underwater, right? Because we went back to the same levels as the first day when it launched on the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 exchange, right? I'm using the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 exchange. It's currently the only, you know, centralized exchange you can currently buy this coin on, and it's, you know, the only chart that I can get, as SaucerSwap doesn't actually allow me to use candlesticks. So I use the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 ticker symbol for this one. So it's, you know, source USDT. You guys can pop this up yourself and you can draw exactly in the same charts that I have right now. So yeah, when the supply demand zone, or the VPVR, when you go across to the right, you guys can see that's why it acted as resistance. So all the holders here, when they were down a lot of money, right, this was more than a 50% drawdown, right? From this bear flag, it fell from around, you know, like that 2.5 cent range all the way down to 1 cent, literally 1 cent, right? And then we had a rally all the way up to 3 cents. So people 3x their money. But as you guys can see, all the people back here, when they were down over 50%, they seen their portfolio back at break even and they took profit off the table. So that's why it essentially stalled out at that 3 cent level. So now, where could we buy some source, right? If you're a long-term, you know, holder, or, you know, you just want to buy in, where could you average in? Where could you buy in? So a lot of people were buying source right up here. As you guys can see, it has built a massive supply and demand zone. We are now currently trading at that lower end range. You guys can also see, look at these gaps, right? So these are the gaps. They're like vacuums. So when we fall below, you know, as you guys can see, it's been holding up right on top. So 173, if it falls below 173, we could easily have around, you know, a 5% pullback down to this support trend line, around 6%, right, 6-7%, down to around that 1.6 cent level. So as you guys can see, look at the trend line here. You guys can see it acted as resistance. All these wicks here, a majority of these acted as resistance before finally getting that decisive break, you know, breakout, that breakthrough. And now we've tested it once. We almost kissed it here, right? And you are currently, you know, trading up a little bit, very slightly. Now, I do think we are going to come down to this 1.6 cent level. probably with a, you know, a body closed down there actually. Now you want to watch this. If you're a bull, you really want to watch this level. So this level right here, as you guys can see, you want to watch, does this level hold? Now, if this level doesn't hold, you can see there's another gap right here. So we could have, you know, another, you know, 5, 6, 7% fall down to around 1.275. So all through this range right here, right? As you guys can see, look at that massive supply demand zone down here. That to me, those two levels right there, that is where you would want to buy, because it's like a cushion, right? That's the best way I can describe it. When you've had this really extended move to the upside, and I, you know, gave you those 2 reasons why it stalled out on the 15th of August, and now we're pulling back, right? We're down about 45% from that 3-cent high. We're currently trading at 1.7 cents. Now, at these lower levels, the people that brought before, right? So all the people that brought around here and also all through here, as you guys can see, there was a lot of, you know, wicks. So people were buying, but someone kept selling into those wicks, right? They're like a story. Each wick is a story, right? And all those people, they're going to see them, you know, when they check on their portfolio, they're going to be around 0%. So to me, these levels around here are going to be cushions. I do think people dollar cost averaging at these levels, it's going to be, you know, pretty smart. I do think it would catch a nice bounce off these levels, you know, and just to see this gap here, you guys can see why, you know, it quickly, very sharply fell into it, and then you guys can see it also quickly broke through it, right? So this gap right here where we're currently trading between 1.8 and like 1.6, it's essentially just like a vacuum gap, you know. It can have a very quick fall, but also very quick move to the upside, as you know, as I just shown you then, you know, and we are currently pulling back down into that level. To me, that 1.6 cent level, that is your first buy. This whole level here is going to act as a cushion between 1.4 to 1.6 cents. So in between, you know, that 0.02%, the 2 pip, you know, range there, and then you also got this range down here. I'll just quickly remove these. So we're talking between around 1.275 to around 1150. So between those ranges there, that is going to be, you know, a lot of support in my opinion. You know, I could be totally wrong, you know, but the charts are the charts. I just let the charts you know, speak for themselves, and I'm just essentially telling you, reading it like it's a book, and I'm just telling you what I can see in the charts unfolding. Now, I want to talk about one other thing. So if we go over to Mexi, I like having a look at the order book. Where are people buying and where are people selling, right? So as you guys can see, if we just take it out to the 1 cent range, you guys can see at that 1 cent level, there's currently around $13,000 on the buy side. Now at around that 3 cent level, so when we topped at this 3 cent level, you guys can see there is 44.5 you know, grand just, you know, sitting around that 3 cent level. This top right here, it's going to be pretty hard to get through, especially on a small market cap, you know, crypto gem like SaucerSwap. You know, it's going to need a lot of buying pressure to make it break through that 3 cent level, right? Because a lot of people are currently trapped. You got to think about it. I remember a lot of people. I remember the Discord was going crazy. I just remember people on Twitter as well also talking about it. Remember, when everyone is talking about a crypto, you are probably late to the train. You do not want to be jumping in here. You know, just like the uranium miners. I know this is very off topic, but I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it, and I'm also seeing a lot of people talking about Casper. You know, totally, you know, unrelated really, except for Casper. That's another cryptocurrency. But back to SaucerSwap, we also have a large sell wall at around, you know, $19,000 at around that 4 cent level, and you know, at around 2 cents, you've got 7.3 grand. So now on the buy side, if we're zooming down into the smaller pips here, you guys can see at each of these levels, we've got a massive one. This is, you know, we're talking, if this was to fall 90%, then another 90%, there's a $5,000 buy wall down at 201, right? So, you know, a tenth of a penny. And if we have a look at the 1 cent buy wall, you guys can see there's $6,729 currently sitting at that 1 cent level. And you guys can see there's a few more $1,000 buy walls there. So to me, like I said, those cushions, right? So between that 1.6 to 1.4 cent range, there's, over $2,000 easily there in amongst these three brackets here. And then if we go down, if we go back to the chart, just so I can get, accurately, so 1.3 to essentially 1.1. And if we go back here to SaucerSwap 1.3, so this area here down to 1.1, as you guys can see, those supply demand zones, the order book is already there, and it's showing you these people here are going to buy once again. It's like a cushion, people are going to support these levels. They're just going to be buyers naturally at those levels, unless something really bad happens. Bitcoin takes an absolute fat nuke and it nukes down to $20,000, which is, could potentially happen. We never know. There could be a black swan market crash, anything like that. But to me, if we were to wake up and everything's down 50% tomorrow, I'm going to be buying coins like these, because these are going to get hit harder than, your big blue chips like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And, if anything's to go by, if we were to wake up tomorrow, everything's down 50%, to me, that is an absolute, that's a pretty big buy signal. If everyone's just blood in the streets, no one wants to buy, it will be pretty, everyone's going to essentially be cash poor at them levels. That's why they're going to be selling to try and raise liquidity. And, you're going to see asset prices continuing to fall, you know what I mean? Just like back when oil went to zero. So I know this is quite a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We're almost close to 500 subs. I'd really appreciate that, guys, if you smash that, like button and the subscribe button. And, I plan on making many more videos on SaucerSwap. I'm super bullish long term on this project. Just keep an eye out for those, support and resistance levels. To me, I do think there is some more short-term pain, in the, few days to weeks coming. The altcoins here have just continued to be bleeding against Bitcoin, essentially. So just do keep that in mind if you were to pull up a Bitcoin dominance chart. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. This was super long video. It was essentially me rambling, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys, want more content like this of me rambling, talking about the charts, please smash the like button and smash that subscribe button. And I'll see each and every one of you in the very next video. 𝗕𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦 out. Peace.